Eleanor Finch wasn't curious by nature. At 73, she'd seen enough to know that curiosity rarely led to anything comforting. Her third-floor apartment at Maplewood Residences was quiet, her routines fixed like the creases in her armchair. Mornings meant toast and black tea, the newspaper crossword, and maybe a walk to the mailbox if her hip wasn't too stiff. The outside world had grown louder, younger, faster, but Eleanor remained untouched, still. Until someone moved into apartment 3B. She noticed first by the sound, or rather the absence of it. No movers, no slamming doors. Just a man arriving late at night, slipping inside like he didn't want to be seen. She watched through her peephole, tall, thin, wearing an old gray coat despite the spring air. No smile, no hello. Just a single duffel bag and a cardboard box marked Emma. She barely slept that night. At 2:17 a.m., a laugh woke her. A child's laugh. High, bright, and terribly out of place. She sat upright, heart pounding, listened. It came again, 3 short bursts of joy, then cut off, like someone had switched off a radio. The next day, she waited by her door for hours. The man didn't come out. No child left. No voices. No television. No footsteps. The laughter returned the next night, and again the night after. Eleanor tried to stay rational. Maybe he has a daughter. Maybe she visits late. Maybe he's playing recordings. But the air in the hallway had changed thicker somehow, like the building itself had started to listen in. She wrote to the building supervisor. Subject: urgent concern child sounds from apartment 3B, possible neglect. She received an automated reply. Nothing more. On the 4th night, she pressed her ear to the shared wall. For a long moment, only silence. Then a slow, dragging sound, like furniture being moved. Then something lighter, like humming. And finally, that laugh again. Only this time, there was another sound beneath it, a low, breathless whisper, like someone sobbing and trying not to be heard. Eleanor backed away from the wall. She didn't sleep. She stayed up watching her hallway through the peephole, one hand wrapped around the old telephone, the other on the edge of the drawer where she kept a flashlight and her late husband's old pocket knife. At 5:41 a.m., a soft noise. Not laughter this time. A knock at her door. She didn't move at first, just stared at the door. The knock came again, soft but clear. Eleanor rose slowly, each breath measured. She looked through the peephole. Eesh. The man from 3B stood there, worn coat buttoned to his neck, a small bundle in his arms. His face was pale, eyes tired, as if he hadn't truly slept in years. Not haunted, just emptied. She opened the door halfway. Yes? He didn't speak at first, just held out what he carried, a faded pink blanket wrapped around something small. Gently he unwrapped the corners, revealing a stuffed bunny, worn, stitched in places. One button eye. In its chest, a tiny silver turnkey. "I thought you should know," he said quietly. His voice was low, careful. "About sounds." Eleanor watched as he twisted the key once. A few soft notes rang out, childlike, sweet, mechanical. Then came the laugh. Bright, innocent. A little girl's voice, crystal clear, filled with joy. Just a few seconds, but enough to still the air in the hallway. "My daughter," he said, without blinking. "Emma. She passed 2 years ago." Eleanor's fingers gripped the doorframe. "I made the recording on her last good day," he continued, "before the hospital. It's all I have. Left her laugh, this toy, and some pictures. I don't play it to scare anyone. I play it to remember what she sounded like. I don't always hear it anymore, but I know it's real. It keeps her real." He looked down at the toy, then back up. "I didn't think it would carry through the walls. I'm sorry." Eleanor didn't speak for a long moment. The warmth in her throat tightened. "You live alone?" she asked gently. He nodded. "I came back to clear her room. I couldn't do it before, not until now." She stepped aside. "Come in." They sat across from each other in the small living room, the air filled with the scent of tea and a silence that felt alive, not awkward. "I thought something was wrong," she said finally. "With you, with that apartment, the laughter. It made me imagine things." He offered a soft smile. "I get that a lot. People see grief and think it's danger. It's not. It's just heavy." She nodded slowly. He reached into his coat and took out a photo, a little girl on a swing, grinning with her arms in the air. In the background, another child half-turned, blurred with light brown hair and familiar eyes. "My Emma loved this picture," he said. "She talked a lot about the girl behind her, said she reminded her of someone she'd seen in a family photo album." He paused, looking at Eleanor. "Her name was Lily, I think." Eleanor stared at the photo, her breath caught. That was her granddaughter, the one she hadn't seen in nearly 8 years. Her son had moved after the divorce cut ties, took Lily across the country. Eleanor had written letters, sent gifts, heard nothing back. She blinked hard, forcing her voice steady. "Do you know where the photo was taken?" "Emma's school, Tucson. I have the address somewhere." Eleanor's eyes welled, but not from pain, from something much gentler, hope. "You just gave me something I thought was gone," she whispered. He didn't ask what she meant. He just nodded. They drank tea slowly, letting the moment settle like dust in sunlit air. Later, he stood to leave. "Thank you," she said, "for telling me." "No, thank you," he replied, "for opening the door." That night, the building was still. The bunny sat on Eleanor's table, and for the first time in years, the silence felt full, not empty. Because behind every sound, there's a story. And behind every door, someone waiting to be heard. At first, it felt like fear. But in the end, it was grief, quietly asking to be understood. Share in the comments. What did you feel while listening to this story?